Hi, Canastota. I'm Sean Becerra, Superintendent of Canastota Central Schools, and this is the weekly video update for Friday, January 21st. I wanted to start off this week's update by providing you some pretty new information regarding a next test kit, COVID test kit distribution time. As you know, a couple of weeks ago, as we were coming back from the holiday break, we had received a shipment of rapid COVID test kits. We made a large-scale distribution to our families at that time. We have since then received additional test kits. We wanted to make those available to our families as soon as possible. As you know, and as we've talked about before, it's not as simple as just simply putting them in a student's backpack and sending them home. We can't give those tests directly to our students. So please bear that in mind and understand that it's just not that simple. We're not able to do that. What we can do is set up another time next week for people to be able to pick those test kits up if they're interested in receiving a test kit at no cost. So the next distribution time is next Tuesday, which is January 25th. And just as we did in our last distribution, you can pick those right up at Cafeteria B at Robert Street. Again, that's Cafeteria B at Robert Street, anywhere from 2:30 p.m. until 6 p.m. So again, Robert Street, Cafeteria B, 2:30 p.m. until 6 p.m. next Tuesday. As we continue to receive shipments, we certainly will get those out to families as quickly as possible. If that time does not work for you, then you can certainly contact your child's nurse's office or main office, and we can try to work with you to find a time that would work for you to be able to pick up those test kits. So again, more information will continue to come in the coming weeks as we receive shipments. Also wanted to follow up with some of the things we started talking about last week as we head into the second half of the 21-22 school year. Wanted to talk about our goals and what were some of the big items on the horizon for the school as we head into towards February. I mentioned last week that we had spent some time at our most recent board meeting talking about where we stood relative to the district goals, and we measured those goals under what we call the 8 domains of operational efficiency, these 8 areas that measures the functioning of a school district. And so I want to spend some time this week talking about one category that we call budget and finance. Budget and finance is obviously the foundation of any program. Nothing really exceptional can happen in a district if you don't have a sound financial foundation on which to build on. And so we're pleased to report that we continue to be in sound financial shape. One thing that happened this week that sometimes is confusing to people is that there was a lot of media attention to the fact that the governor released their preliminary budget proposal for the 22-23 year. And it's important to note that that is a work in progress. We will not have our final aid allocation from the state until typically the first week in April or so, when we have a finalized state budget. So the governor's put out her proposal. We'll anxiously look forward to hearing about the legislative proposal, and at some point over the next couple of months, that will become more clearly defined. It's an unusual budget year in that I've always looked at the governor's proposal is probably the worst case scenario because typically the real aid allocation to school districts is higher than the governor's proposal. I'm not so sure of that this year for a variety of reasons. I think there's going to be quite a bit of resistance, and that it seems like there's quite a perception that that there's too much money that's going around to different entities, and including school districts. So I'm not so sure that that number is going to hold up. So we're cautiously optimistic. Certainly, the aid projections call for almost a $1.5 million increase to our district. There are multiple components to the district. The one that we look most closely at is foundation aid. There was a little bit over a $700,000 increase in that category. But again, until those numbers are finalized, we can't really read too much into it. So we're cautiously optimistic, but it is, keep in mind, it is a highly unusual budget year with the new governor coming in, and let's see if that number holds up. So again, we will be spending more time in upcoming updates breaking down the different components of what makes a school budget. But for today's purposes, just wanted to comment on the recent news of the governor's proposal and its potential impact on schools. So much more to come on that, and hope everybody is able to stay warm over the weekend. Enjoy your weekend, stay healthy, and go Raiders.